and you went in
Oh, yes, yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, well,
Wow.
I never can remember it, but it is.
well, now I forgot it.
What's in this?
Oh, we're just,
This
we're
I have to
talking
get
about
write this down because I tell you this one is priceless.
Well, it is all right because I tell you what, the three of us were just getting ready to go to a
Yeah.
dance.
This is a true story now, guys.
Mick Faulkner, he's in America now, and but he was stopping with me and Phil Faulkner, and he was down beside Captain Lake. But he was a great crack altogether. Like he used to act in concerts, and they were saying that I never seen him acting, but they were saying that he was great. If you only looked at him, you'd have to laugh. You know, he was really good. And we were getting ready.
But he
to
wasn't
go.
a comedian.
We were getting ready to go to the dance, and I want to tell you where I had an awful experience the last time I was at home. Before I came to England, he says, I went for a walk down the road, he says, and this man came up on a motorbike down in County Leitrim. And he says, sit up on the bike for a bit of a spin. And sure, Phil says, I didn't take a bit of notice. I got up on the bike. But he says, he opened up the throttle, he says, and the bike started going so fast, and we went on. I said, where on earth are you going? And with the noise, he couldn't hear me, but he kept going on. And just as he come to this crossroads, he said, he slowed up. He says, I should have told you, but do you know what I want you for? He says, I was up, this is the border between Southern Ireland and Northern Ireland, and I was up yesterday and I delivered some drugs, and the man hadn't the money, and he says, come back to me. So he says, I'm going up for it now, and he says, I'll be the first one to be searched for the money, so you will count the money. So he could do nothing else, he would have put 30 miles away. He couldn't say, I won't go, because he'd have to walk back. He couldn't. So he had to go. And so they drove up into Northern Ireland and called to this house. Anyway, and we had the man was there, and he had this satchel of money anyway for the drugs. So Phil took it and he put it tied around himself in here to a big bag of money inside, and no, he didn't. He put it into his inside pocket of his coat, his wallet of money. And they headed back down for Ireland, and he said, if we get across the border, that's all we want, you know. So they met different police on the road, but luckily enough they didn't stop him. And then next thing, then the sky opened with the floods, a heavy spill. And the fella driving the bike, he says, we'll have to pull in that no coats on them, only the ordinary jacket. We'll have to pull in somewhere off that and see this big two-story house with a light in it. And it was late at this time, 1 o'clock at night. So we went up and knocked on the door, and this people on the ground come to the door, and he said, we've already signed the wheels filling in, and from the south, and it's all good to go. Oh, come in, she says, and said, I have a good fire on, and she took the coat off Phil, anyway, he says, I was afraid of my life, took off my coat and put it on the back of a chair at the fire to dry it out, and Phil with me with all the money in it, and the next thing, the rain got worse again, and she said, do you know something now? She said, I have a spare room in the house, and just couldn't face down that night with that heavy rain and storm. Can't you stay the night? So Phil didn't want to stay, but well, thanks ever so much, ma'am, I'd be delighted. The man who was driving the motorbike. And well, she says, come on and I'll show you the room upstairs anyway, the two of them, and your man, the driver, she brought him and showed him his room, and It wasn't long. Then she, next to it, she showed, so that little room, she showed and Phil went into that room, and I got into bed, and I was really in bed, and I thought of the coat, it was below, hanging on the chair at the back, the fire, and the money in it. And I was going to go out to the, and here I heard him snoring, and sleep next door. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was lying there in the dark in the room, the next thing, then the door opened. And I could see the shadow coming towards the bed. And just as I come out, I just grabbed, what was it? What are you doing? What are you doing in here? Well, she said, this is my room. She said, I can be my room. This is my room. And she was so strange when I said, shit, I'm going to go, no, I'm going to get out, I'm going to get out. No, the next thing, then they hear this shouting downstairs. Oh, she said, shh, quiet. Who's that? Who's shouting? That's my husband, she says. Keep quiet. And he come up the stairs. Where is the so-and-so? He seen the coat hanging on the at the fire. Where's the so-and-so? I'll kill him. And he had I think he had a hedge knife in his head. I'll kill him. What the Philip said, I didn't put him in the wardrobe, and then they get into the wardrobe, he says, and pull the door. What did the door lock? It locked when I pulled it in the wardrobe. And he came round and he banged on doors and down, out again, and round to the other rooms. And so Phil, I started, I gave a couple of jumps against the door, to open it. And what did the thing do? It fell down on the floor, and me lying in the wardrobe. And he said I had to praise me back like that, and I had to keep, praising against the back of the wardrobe, and finally it busted open, and I got out. And I heard him coming roaring back up the stairs again, and the shouts. Well, with friend me, all I could do, I went to the window. It was just getting daylight, he said, and I went to the window, and it was one of them windows that you lift up. I lifted up the window, and I could hear those roaring. God bless, I'll be killed if I jump off here, but I'll have to. But anyway, the next thing, the door got one rap at this hedge knife that he had with him, and Phil had to jump. And what was down underneath it, only one of those cesspools, where they have all the mud. Well, I went to me knees, me elbows, me face, I was covered in this, and I had to get up, and he way back, I'll kill you. Oh, he went running, he looked out the window and shouted down at him, and way back down the stairs, and Phil says there was an iron gate, and Phil says, if I could get out, never rode a motorbike in my life before, but your man had parked the motorbike just outside the gate. And he said, if I got handed, I'd know how to press the put, and if I got away a bit of self anyway. I ran to the gate, he said, I didn't take time to open it. I said, I went straight head over heels, fell over the other side of it, and hopped on the motorbike. And here he come roaring down the driveway after me, this show, God bless you, with an awful state. I just got he said, he said, the way you press the pedal on the bike tomorrow will you thanks for God, he says it started anyway, and he says and I was just throwing my leg across the bike, he says, when he jumped off the top of the gate, I just drove and he caught me with the leg, he says. And he started pulling it, the very same as I'm pulling yours.
Now, having said that, the first time that Tom Crow told that story, you were in it.
But
and I was sitting the first time I heard it saying, No, it couldn't be. No, Tom. No, couldn't. No.
No.
You know, holy man, religious man. No, no.
We did.
And we sat for half an hour, and I was like, oh.
God, sure, the
down.
story was that we were late for the dance. It took him 2 hours to tell it that night, and it was too late to go to the dance. While we hopped everything we could get in the,
I know, I can
in the
imagine.
room round.
Well, I felt the same with you that because you had it that night. The first time you told it that you were one of them, and I believed him. Like, and I was.
But he was
God.
so good. There wasn't a smile out of his face. I'm sure we were handed the hand.
There was none of yours the night you told it here either. I remember it's a good few years ago, but we believed him. Really, really believed what he was telling us. We were like, and then it was, oh, I could kill you for saying.
That was brilliant.
Oh. You can surely tell them, Tom.
Ow.
Very good.